home this afternoon.
Okay.
But we were down here over the weekend. We went to well, hello everybody. We're live, but we went. My husband's a big sports fan, and we went to the Legends of Basketball philanthropic dinner or whatever. So it was really cool because it's all these basketball legends. So
that's awesome.
Anything sports he likes to go to. So this was a really nice. It was a black tie dinner. It's kind of cool. So
nice.
Yeah, and then I hung out because I wanted to do a couple things. So he went home last night, and then I'll go home right after our session, actually. So I had to go shopping this morning, to be truthful.
Nice.
Yeah. So, my darling, you said that you didn't have anything specific, which sometimes is better because sometimes we go somewhere that we don't expect to go. So, talk to me about your business. Fill me in on where you are, what's going on, etc.
Okay, so I'm really part-time. Like I probably like, you know how in school it's like half-time, and I really want to be part-time. And I just want to but what I feel like is my struggle is on top of life and doing the business. I just feel discombobulated on what actions I should take. And I know your DMO is really simple, but I'm just finding it hard to, because in my mind, I feel like I need to focus on like 3 hours or 2 hours to crush this out. And I never seem to have that time slot to just bang out.
We're going to fix you.
Okay.
We're going to fix you. You know, I'm going to pull that drape back there. That sun is a little weird on the video. Hang on a second. Keep talking or whatever. Wait, I'm touching myself. Let me pull that drape. Do. Now we'll probably be in the dark, but it'll be romantic.
It's good.
I'm turning the light. That light may be bad too. We'll see. All right. So tell me about your life outside of your business. What's your schedule like? What do you got going on?
Okay, so the funny thing is like I'm a case manager, so I work with seniors. So I have like some field work, and then I do work at home. So in terms of schedule, it's kind of flexible. You know, I get my work done throughout the day, and then I try to, you know, do trainings and stuff at night. I take care of my kids in the afternoon. Whenever my husband comes home in the afternoon, he kind of helps me as well. But outside of just work and taking care of my family, that's it. And then I just try to squeeze in a little thing here, but I feel like I'm never doing enough because it's
okay. I want you to stop talking. First thing you have to learn is when you're working with a mentor, answer the question they ask you. Because you're busy telling yourself why you can't. And you do that every day, busy telling yourself why you can't and how it doesn't fit in and how you don't have time, then guess what? There is no possibility of you figuring it out.
Got you.
Okay. So all I asked you was, what was your life like? Which, when you say seniors, you mean senior citizens? Okay. So you do casework, and what kind of population that they have caseworkers? Are they
65 and older?
Yes, but is there a specific reason that you're attending to them? Like, what is the title of your job?
I'm a case manager for an insurance company with Medicaid.
Okay.
And so I monitor services that are rendered.
Okay. Follow you. So, and you have some flexibility in your job, which is cool. So you have site visits, you write up the reports, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Do the site visits vary by time of day?
No, I kind of monitor my own schedule. So I try to see everybody. Like this morning, I just saw everybody that I needed to see.
Yeah, but generally in the morning is when you're out.
Yeah. Okay.
But and the rest of it, do you have to report to an office, or does the rest of it out of the house?
Out of the house.
Okay. Which is part of the challenge, because now there's no separation between job, business, and family and kids.
Right.
Which we can work on, which is fine. So how old are your kids?
6 and 2.
Okay, so mine were 3 and 6 when I started, so I feel ya. I feel ya. The 2-year-old stays home or goes to like some type of preschool or daycare in the mornings?
Daycare.
Okay. Full day or part day?
Full day.
Okay. So then your husband comes home, you guys do dinner and baths and homework and all that stuff and teething. Well, teething's probably over by now. Teething's over, no?
Yeah, it's over.
You know, all that good stuff. Potty trained yet or no?
We're training now.
Okay, so then there's all of that practice,
Yeah.
you know, and yay. Yeah. I'm just thinking back and thinking how excited we'd get when they'd go to the toilet, you know.
Yeah.
You think about it now and it's funny.
I do a happy dance.
Yeah, you know, we had a whole parade we would do. It was great. So, okay. So the first thing that you need to understand about your business is, just like your job, you have a lot of flexibility in your business. There's some things that have to go on the books, like a particular training or something, if you need to catch it, you know, live, because some things are better live, you know, so those have to be, you know, scheduled. But everything else, you have ultimate flexibility, and you have to start to learn to stop thinking of it of, I have to sit down for 3 hours and crush this, your words. And you need to get into, I have a smartphone, I can be working in the nooks and crannies of my day all day. Okay. And in fact, it's funny, one of my students who now teaches a lot about how to manage your business part-time, he always makes fun of me in a great way, because I always used to talk about nooks and crannies, nooks and crannies, nooks and crannies. There's nooks and crannies everywhere in your day that you're missing, that are 5, 7, 10, 15-minute blocks that you think aren't enough, because you think you have to sit down and do an hour worth of stuff. You can meet a person in 5 minutes, you know. So if there's 10 of those throughout the day, 10 little 5-minute little snippets that you can meet a person, you're on track for that. You really can create a piece of content in 15 minutes if you train yourself to think that way. And you certainly can write your list in 15 minutes. I mean, truthfully, the DMO that I teach is an hour DMO. And then if somebody wants more or to go faster, then they just do more. They meet more people, create more content, and you really can't write your list too many more times because it's obnoxious. Yeah. But content, you know, if somebody has more time, they can create lots of pieces of content. So we now have to start examining, how do we meet people properly and how do we create content properly? Because that's where you're hung up. Tell me, what do you think, like, if, let's say your job was gone all of a sudden, I don't mean in a bad way, I mean in a great way. Somebody's still paying you, but you don't have to do your work. What do you think you're supposed to be doing for your business? Like, what do you think an ultimate day would be? Or what do you think people like me do for our business?
Okay, I think there's a difference between what I think you do and probably what I think I should do, right? So okay. I think I should be meeting 10 people, having 10 conversations, but going, you know, going towards semantics, hey, or getting to know them. Hey, how are you? What's going on? How's family, friends? Like building a lot of rapport. Do that, so maybe tomorrow or the next day I can actually see if there's a need or if a need pops up. So I'm doing that, and then it, you know, in my mind, it's not going to take me an hour to create a piece of content. Like it's gonna, because I will like to release something that's, you know, has value in it. So in my mind, it's not valuable if I haven't sat and thought thoroughly over it.
I'm enjoying you. Go ahead, keep going. Because this is the stuff that you understand. You have these thought processes that are absolutely blowing you out of the water.
I guess, yeah, I hear it.
Let me give you a definition of value. Giving value, because you always hear this, I have to give value, I have to give value. Giving value is helping somebody with something they're struggling to do. Okay. Okay. Giving value could be showing someone how to tie their shoelaces if they're struggling. You know, it doesn't have to be this big, profound. If we're going to create a piece of content like for 365 days a year, it can't all be earth-shattering. It's not possible.
Maybe that's what I'm trying to get, like earth-shattering, aha moments or something. I don't know.
You know, and a lot of people struggling, like right now, everybody started their blogs. And things like just domain mapping, which is something I've done a million times, is very challenging to a new person who's never done it. There's things, what's a widget? What's a this? Everything that you know, all these new people don't know. Right. And you've learned it and or can look it up, you know, and there's just 4 gazillion things that people are struggling with that are little things. They're not, you know, the angels don't sing when you learn how to copy and paste. The angels don't sing when you learn what a sidebar on your blog is. The angels don't sing when you learn how to go use the Google keyword tool. Or, you know, it's just a thing you learn. You know, if I were to come in, are most of your cases in nursing homes right now, or are they hospitalized? Where are they?
Nursing homes.
Okay. So if I were to come in, and I happen to have worked in a nursing home when I was in college, so I have a slight little bit of knowledge from, you know, a long time ago. But if I were to come into your environment tomorrow, there'd be a whole lot of terminology I'd have to learn about nursing homes, nursing care, skilled nursing, unskilled, you know, all the different types of facilities they're in, the different types of diagnoses they have, the different, you know, plus the terminology from your own department, right. You know, how you classify people. The angels don't sing if I learn the terminologies from a nursing home, right? When you first learned, right? It was just, you needed to learn, right? It's your job. You need to learn. You need to learn what the, you know, when you're looking at somebody's chart, or I don't know exactly what you look at, but, you know, like their meds, or how the meds are administered, or how the nurses, you know, what level of nursing is required for this person. Are they, you know, just physically, you know, having physical issues, etc., or are there emotional issues as well, which hit many people when they're over 65? They get depressed. They have different things. Are their meds being monitored properly so that they're not interacting? Who's prescribing them? I'm making this up. I have no idea what it is. But do you understand? There's just stuff, and you had to learn it when you were new. So when people come into the home business industry, they're bombarded with stuff. Think about all the terms we use and the lingo we use. And the first time they come on something, and everybody's talking about funnels and prospects and tripwires and leading indicators and front end offers and back end offers and upsells and continuity and residuals and audit. What does any of this mean? Yep. And everybody thinks it's not important enough to create content about that to help people, when it's that very simple content done consistently over time that is the exact thing that will lead a ton of people to you. Gotcha. Okay. So I was thinking I needed to like write a thesis statement every time. Yeah, exactly. She's doing her master's degree over. She's like writing this whole thing and a report and a soliloquy and a synopsis and a table of contents, and there's footnotes and and all you really have to do, here's the technique. It's really simple. Grab a notebook. Okay, I'll show you what I do for me. This is my date book, and I love this company's date book. And but it gives me, in this particular date book, it gives me pages like this. Every month there's a couple of these blank pages. And what I do is periodically, I'm trying to see if I can find one in here. Because I usually do them in here, but this is a new one. Oh, okay, here's one. I just take a page. Gotcha. And I jump my brain and I write down every topic I can think. So here, I'm just going to read some of these. Massive warm market. What is attraction marketing? Multiple streams of income. Daily method of operation. You know, most people don't know what DMO or daily method of operation means. How to talk to people. How to prospect on Facebook. How to run simple ads on Facebook. Video marketing. YouTube video. Facebook video. Simple video editing. Quickie videos. Periscope. Instagram. Copywriting. Autoresponder setup and usage. Funnel creation, writing offers, Twitter marketing, SEO, blogging, automated webinars, duplication, building logo, running calls and webinars, online marketing, creating content, prosperity concepts, how to get mentored, lead with product or business, writing profiles, managing your team, affiliate marketing. This is just a list I made one day. Just out there. Now, I haven't even made any of this content. I made some of it. And all of these things are things from it's an extra copy of my passport in case I got killed in Hong Kong. All of these things I could whip off in a couple of minutes. Okay. Now, some of these things may not be things that you can whip off in a couple minutes, but a lot of them are. Yeah. A lot of them are simple things, and if you were to sit down with a notebook, and I challenge you today in front of 6 other people that are watching us right now, 6 or 7, however many there. I want you to write down 100 things, 100 that you know, but make them as simple and as basic as you can think of.
Yeah.
And
okay, that's good.
And if you were then to use some screenshot software like Screencast-O-Matic or Camtasia, there's free ones. You get, okay. And you do them without even getting on camera. So you don't have to worry about lipstick and all that other stuff. I used to worry a lot about it. Now you can tell I don't care anymore. But if you do screenshot videos where you can whip them off and they're 4-minute videos, how many could you do in an hour if you actually found an hour? If you put the kids to bed and you had from 9 to 10 in the evening, you know, to get that done, you could get 10 of them done. Because they're simple. It's, hi, it's Shavar, and I'm from, you know, whatever your site name is, and today I'm going to show you how to blankety blank blank, or today I'm going to talk to you about what does this mean. And then you just tell them what it means and then go, hey, if you'd like more tips or ideas on how to build your business, you can visit me, put your name and email in over at your site. That's the video. It's that simple.
Yeah. So that's good, because I think when you said your list, I knew some of the topics, or I could probably say some of the topics, but I've always had the mindset that if I'm already talking to networkers, maybe they already know this stuff. And so
your market is the people that are behind you.
Okay.
So if somebody's ahead of you, that content's not going to be for them, but I'm not going to get to recruit them anyway. Follow what I'm saying? A lot of people, they'll teach you try to recruit up. And then what that does is it creates a lot of weird frustration. You know, maybe you'll happen to recruit up somebody who has a lot of experience. But generally speaking, experienced networkers work with experienced networkers.
Gotcha.
Period. Like if I were to join an MLM tomorrow, if I picked an MLM or I saw one that I loved, there's no way I'm going to just sign up with anybody. I'm going to go sign up with one of the top people at the company. So the really, truly experienced people, they're out of your market right now. I'm not saying that to depress you, because I'm going to show you how to make them in your market. Because what starts to happen is the way you become known as an experienced networker is to be around for a while and be visible. See, today I get calls from, you know, really, really, really top leaders all the time, wanting help with stuff. I mean, I just had 2 that got involved in mlsp, 3. But the reason why they're contacting me is because I'm a known quantity. I've made myself a known quantity over time. Previous to having that presence in that name, I was recruiting people that were behind me. Because those, now I kind of would like people that are in the game a little bit, maybe wanting to learn about the internet, but not people off the street that have never heard of the industry. So think about how many people, they're traditional networkers, are just coming online. Tons. Yeah. Think about how many people are started, you know, they're kind of going, but they haven't really gotten traction. They're looking for a good, you know, person to work with. Think about how many people want to learn more about marketing, because the only thing that they're being taught about marketing is walk around and talk to people, generally speaking. So they actually start to go, wait a minute, maybe I could use video, or maybe I could use Facebook, or maybe I could use this. And they start to search for ways to do that. Those are all great prospects for you.
Okay.
Great prospects. So how many people, just if I were to make all these videos in the next week or so, right? How many people really don't know, like Instagram? I've been using Periscope for a while, and I stopped using it because it's not my thing. But I knew all about Periscope. And then all of a sudden one day Eric Worre told everybody about this new thing called Periscope, and everybody went nuts and wanted training on how to, and to me, I always sit and go, what is their training? You hit the button and you talk, you know? But you know what? I know friends that have made gazillions of dollars. In fact, you know April Marine. So between Instagram and Periscope, the same thing. Instagram, I just look at it and I go, what's the training needed? There's no training needed, but people want training. Twitter, you know, it's funny because Mark came into MLSP and he was teaching these Twitter techniques, and everybody was going nuts. And I'm like, how do you think I got 20-some-odd thousand followers? I've been doing these techniques for years, but I never taught it because I was too busy thinking everybody knew. So I'm guilty too. I'm guilty too. And you know what? I could have made one of those courses, and I could have made another $250,000 on one of those courses. But I don't know. I just didn't think to do it for whatever reason. So your list is built from these pieces of content and being visible. And it's the consistency, you know, using social media, putting up fun pictures. Where do you live?
In Tampa.
I'm sorry?
Tampa, Florida.
Tampa. Okay, so it's not exactly snowing there. Hopefully it won't be.
Cold though.
You know, but I mean, we're always taking pictures of what we had out at a restaurant, pictures of, I took a picture of my dessert at the NBA dinner the other night. Pictures of, you know, the other day, everybody was taking pictures, people who were in Chicagoland and stuff were taking pictures of the snow. Tampa might be just going down to the water and taking a picture of the big Tampa Bay Bridge, or going down by the ship dock and taking pictures of the ships, or I don't know, whatever else there is to take pictures of in Tampa. You know, putting up pictures, sharing what you're up to, being very visible. And then what happens is people start to go, I've seen her. She seems like she's good. I've checked out her videos. They're pretty helpful. She seems okay. Let me get on her list. You're letting them sniff you. You're letting them see you. And not worrying about, if somebody asks you a question that you don't know the answer to, guess what? You're a member of MLSP. And you know me, and you know a lot of other people, you can get the answer. That's no big deal. You know, you can look something up. You can go in our library. You can ask in the main group. Don't worry about somebody. Generally speaking, when people ask you big questions, they're doing one of two things. One, they're trying to see if they can knock you down. They're testing you, see if you freak out, because they're jerks. But I get that a lot. Oh yeah, well, what about this? I'm like, I don't know. And then they were like, well, how could a big internet marketer like you not know? I'm like, I don't know. I'm too busy counting my money to find out. You know, they're lost. You know, somebody wants to sit and poke at me, whatever. Or they just have a question and you don't know the answer. It happens to me every single day. Especially now with this new blog thing. Everybody's asking all these weird questions. I'm like, I don't know. Ask Jim. I'll get a hold of Jim. We'll find out for you. I don't know. And everybody thinks it's cute. I say I don't know like 10 times a day. I'm like, you know what? I don't know that one. Let me find out. Or, gee, I've never had that come up. I also give answers 50 times a day because I do know a lot from time and experience. So the ratio is there. But it's your confidence that people respond to. It's not, they don't care if you know the answer.
Okay.
If you go in the nursing home and maybe somebody's family member's there, one of your cases, and somebody's family member there, and they start giving you a hard time, right? Have you ever had that happen?
Yes.
Right? So you either get to go, oh, you know, or you're just like, you know what, here's what the policy is, or here's what we're doing to help your dad, or here's as far as we can go. You know, and if you want something in addition to that, that's something that your family's going to have to, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They're going to poke at you. People poke at you in your job. Your kids do it.
Yep.
Wait till the 6-year-old's a girl? Did you say her boy?
Yep. Girl.
Wait until she gets to be about 12 with her hand on her hip. And she'll wait to see if she can get mom to do what she wants. She'll mess with you. She will. And you're like, oh, no, not my daughter. Oh, yes, she will. Yes, because they do, because they have to, because as they grow, they have to look to see, am I in control or is mom in control? It's what kids do. They're supposed to. We did it with our parents. Am I in control or is mom in control? And if you let her be in control, you're in trouble. Same with prospects. Am I in control or is Yavar in control? Am I in control or is she in control? And they'll try to poke you. And that's when you just have to stand tall and be sure that you don't need them.
Right.
It's hard to say that when you want to sign someone up. But the truth is you don't need them, because if you do what I'm telling you consistently and you let go of this whole, I don't have time, I can't, you can take your phone. Here we go. Watch. Let's have some fun. Whoops. Let's flip the camera. Stop. Wait. Hey guys, it's Diane from Diane Hochman, and I'm here, and I'm on a one-on-one session. I don't know if you could, well, I think that goes backwards, but I'm here with, let me make her big. Let me make her big. See if we can get her on screen. There we go. I'm here with Yvar, and we are learning about fitting business into the nooks and crannies of the day. She is a mama of two, works a full-time job. She has a wonderful family, and she's learning about how to make sure she gets her business done at the same time as taking really good care of her family and doing a real good job at her position. So if you want to know more about that type of stuff, go ahead over to dianehochman.com, put in your name and email, and I'll give you some of my best tips about how to work your business part-time but get a full-time effect. We'll see you guys there. All right, I'm not going to post that, but
Bam.
That was a video. It was a video invitation. Come on over to my site or come on over to this capture page I built that has a training. How long did that take? 60 seconds?
Yeah.
So throughout the day, could you take a break? Could you run outside? Could you jump in your car and make a quick video? You know, hey, I'm here and I'm on my way home from work, but I just thought about this and I thought it would really help you.
Okay.
And you start doing that, and then that gets posted on your blog once your blog is built. Do you have a blog now or not yet?
My site's blog is not up yet. I was tinkering with it yesterday. I got stuck somewhere, but
no, yeah. I will admit to you, there's stuff to do. And when I come back from Thanksgiving and everything, I'm going to work with you guys directly on it. You know, people who are ahead, great, but you know, I'm not ahead myself. So don't worry if you see everybody getting ahead. That's okay. We're going to get it done before the end of the year. It'll be up. But if you had a blog, you would post it on your blog and then share the link from your blog to different Facebook groups and social media and stuff. And then you're going to use the blog, you know, with the SEO to get traffic that way. If you don't have a blog right now, you can post it, just the raw thing, put it up on YouTube and post it in the groups and post it on your Facebook fan page or your Facebook wall, you know, and bookmark those and kind of share them around the internet. That's what you're doing. You do have to have somewhere where they can get on your list. Do you have a capture page or anything like that up?
Yes, but they're not funnelizer stuff yet. They're MITs. I have MITs pages.
That's fine. The MITs pages is fine. I encourage you to set one up in mlsp simply because if you're going to market mlsp, you want to use their tool. If you're going to market MITs, that's fine too. I have MITs pages as well. In fact, my mentorship letters opt-in, thementorshipletters.com is on MITs. So that's fine. As long as you have something so you can tell them where to go to get on your list. Right. That's really important. You know, everything else as far as, you know, getting up blogs and getting up this and getting up that. I think now that we have sites, we have a great platform and ability to do it. You know, and it's something that other people are going to be able to do too. So it's worth doing. Before, I was not encouraging new people to go get blogs. I felt like it kept them from doing their real work for months. And that's what I don't want to see people doing, is getting stuck. You never wait. As long as you have a place to opt in and as long as you can create content, the good news is as soon as the blog is built, you can always put the content that you made already on the blog. Right?
Yeah.
I can always take all my videos and throw them on a blog. I can always take all my pieces. If I wrote something, I can always throw it on a blog at a later date. It's never a big deal. But what I can't do is if I have a blog and I have no content, that doesn't do me any good. Right? An empty blog is worth nothing.
Right.
Content on a new blog is always good. If I were to start a new blog, I could still take my old stuff and move it over. No problem.
Yeah.
So do you follow your thought process is what was messing you up?
Yeah. And I feel like relieved a lot because I was overcomplicating it unnecessarily so. And so, I mean, what you're saying, like, yeah, I can, you know, take 5 minutes before I hop in the car to create a video, or while I'm waiting for the kids, I could, you know, shoot something and not make it like earth shattering. I gotta drop a bomb on you. No,
I mean, you know what? Once a month, you're going to say something like, I write letters to my list all the time, and every once in a while, I write an epic letter. You know, every once in a while, you're on my list. You know, every once in a while, I write an epic letter. But they can't all be epic because how would you know what epic is? You know? How do I know? Okay, it's been a very warm. Did you grow up in Florida?
Yes.
Okay, so you haven't been up north. Have you seen snow in your life? Once. Okay. So up here, I live in Connecticut. And Connecticut, usually by November, it's getting pretty cold, and we're going into, we know we're going into the depth of the winter. But it's been a very mild fall this year. It's been very warm. I haven't had to put on a coat or a jacket yet. Last night, the cold came. In fact, I came down here this weekend I don't have a coat, so when I run out, I got to run to the car and jump in the car and go home and get a coat, because I'm going to go out with Jill this afternoon. So last night, how do I know it's so cold today? Because it wasn't cold a day ago. How do you know what's epic how do you know what's a good movie if you've never seen a bad movie? How do you know, how do you know anything if you haven't seen the contrast? So you can't. I'll do a call like I do the Deep Abyss. Some of them are better than others. They have to be. I can't, I come with content wanting to deliver, but not every one of them is. I go into spirit. I don't know. Some of them are. I do. Some of them are more profound than others. Some of them are. Sometimes it's funny. I'll talk about my own stuff that I want to talk about, and that'll go nuts. Then sometimes I'm talking about a book or something, and then people will go read the book, and it will take on more meaning. So the talk wasn't, was good, but it wasn't like, oh my God. But when they lay hands on the book and they read the book, now all of a sudden what I was talking about takes on more meaning. A lot of people will never touch the book. I can't help that. This month we read an old letter from my mentor, and everybody went nuts, and then he showed up. So it's interesting. He's like, what were you doing? And I was like, I was teaching him all your, this stuff. And he goes, good girl, you're, bringing the word. But it can't all be.
Okay, yeah. That brings a lot of relief. And I don't know why I was thinking that, but that's true. Not everything can be epic, or not everything can be like crusher, or like I'm supposed to. I felt, I guess, I associated value with, I have to create some shift in perspective or some shift in insight in order for it to be valuable, or I need to bring some new level of new information or new perspective to the situation in order for you to see that, oh, okay, I didn't see it that way. I guess that's what I was thinking. Whenever
but do you understand that for somebody to learn what is continuity or what is auto ship or residual income, for somebody, the first time they learn what residual income is, that's life altering to somebody that when it's new. I remember when I learned it, it was like, oh my gosh, I could have a small piece of all of this. Mm-hmm. And my parents and grandparents and everything, they were just regular employees. They never had anything residual. So that concept alone, now we would sit and go, well, everybody knows about that. Let me give you something relative. Do you remember when you're, oh, that's a blab. There was a picture on my screen, and I thought somebody somehow got onto the thing with us. Do you remember the first steps your daughter took?
Yes.
And do you remember how exciting it was?
Yes.
And do you remember how you waited because she kept pulling up and she was holding on to things, and you knew that sooner or later, any minute, she would take those steps? And do you remember how you all were like, oh my God, she's right? You get very excited when you see your daughter walking today.
Yeah. Not today.
Kind of like, she's, it's normal, right? And think about that excitement about those first steps really only lasted for a couple of weeks, because she got steady probably pretty quick. And the next thing you know, she was always walking. And so that moment, it was the same thing we were joking about, your son toilet training. The first time they go on the toilet, it's like, oh my God. Now, if they didn't go on the toilet, you'd think it was a little weird, right? The older one. So it's the same thing here. The concepts that were life-changing to you in the past are life-changing to others. You're just so used to them, you don't see them as life-changing anymore. Learning the difference between a Facebook profile and a Facebook fan page. Do you know how many people struggle with this concept? They just cannot wrap their head around the difference between the two. Mm-hmm. If you can explain the two to someone, they go, oh. And you're probably thinking, well, big deal. Like me, Periscope, I don't know, you turn it on, you talk to it, big deal. For other people, it's like, oh my God, it's live, I can do this and this, I can broadcast, it's amazing. To me, because I've been around so long, I was like, yeah, whatever. And so what we have to do is go back and trace our steps and remember those things that were exciting to us, and then talk about them and be excited for the people that are first learning this. Mm-hmm. Because it is exciting. The attraction marketing. I've been doing attraction marketing since before it was called attraction marketing. I just do it. To other people, it's really a new concept. And some people have been trying to figure it out for years. And it's really, to me, I don't know, it's just kind of common sense. Lead with what they want, get a relationship with them, and then show them what you want them to look at. Mm-hmm. That's the concept. Mm-hmm. But people can't figure out, should I lead with this, or should I lead with this, or should I, well, how am I going to recruit if I tell people about business? How am I going to recruit them into my MLM? And they can't understand where the pivot happens.
Right, right.
So that's really where you have to go, is to go back and remember when I first learned these ideas. Okay. Copying and pasting, and I use that as an example all the time, seems like anybody who grew up on a computer, that was just so normal. I grew up on a typewriter. Copying and pasting was the most revolutionary thing to ever happen. I remember we had WordPerfect or whatever the software was, and this was life-changing. You didn't have to retype it. The idea that you could print multiple copies and you didn't have to use carbon paper. I'm old. You're not old. I'm old. Things like, you don't understand what being able to type something and then send it to the printer and have it print multiple copies. You used to have to type it on this paper that would make multiple copies with this ink thing, and then you had to put it through a machine that would take the ink and reprint it, and then when the ink ran out, you were screwed and you had to type it over. I'm not kidding.
Wow.
Even in my young adulthood, all printers had those little like things that it ran on these little cogs. You know what I mean? So you had to pull all this thing off, and all your papers were messy and stuff like that. That's how printers work. There was no such thing as a plain paper printer. It was like a miracle. Mm-hmm. And I remember the first time I saw plain printer paper. I remember the first time I saw a computer that had animation and stuff. I remember I bought it. It was $4,000. My mother thought I was insane. She was screaming at me. And we opened it up and we plugged it in, and it came up and it was like, welcome, and it talked to you. And I thought my mother was going to pass out. She was sure we were in Star Trek. She was like, it's the future. Now the thing couldn't do anything after that first little welcome thing, but so things like FaceTime, we take for granted. I don't know FaceTime in this because this isn't Android, but or Messenger or this Google Hangout. These are miracles as far as I'm concerned, all of them. Do you know how many people don't know what a Google Hangout is? New people in business that don't know what a Google Hangout is, have never been on one. And everybody thinks everybody knows. They don't know. Mm-hmm. All right, I've been lecturing you long enough. What else do you want to talk about? I'm going.
I mean, that was powerful, because I'm so glad kind of gave me that shift in thinking, so I could not be as uptight and serious as far as delivering the content. That's it. The DMO, just focus on meeting 10 people a day. And I think I heard from,
how do you do that? Do you want to talk about meeting people? Are you?
Yeah, because I think I was watching like Tula's, and you were mentioning not to think about getting them or interjecting with MLSP. And so I feel like if the purpose of the DMO is to potentially get them here, but don't rework your mind to not have that agenda. So that was
how long have you been married?
6 years.
Okay. Did you date before that, or did you meet him young? You kind of went out with your girlfriends and hung out, right? So remember when you'd go out with your girlfriends and there was some dude and you knew he was like after you or after one of your girlfriends? Like you could tell from a mile away, and he'd come over and you'd all be like, oh God, here he comes. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? That guy. Yeah. Right? Because he was telegraphing what he wanted. And because he was so busy telegraphing what he wanted, he literally repelled you before he opened his mouth. Y'all knew the minute he walked over, and then he'd say something cheesy or stupid, and you'd all be like, you know, he's trying to be like really cool, right? And everybody would be like, ah. So it's the same thing in prospecting, okay? As soon as you tell her, the cooler somebody is, and the more they don't telegraph that they're trying to get you, the more you're interested in them. So when we're out meeting people, everybody expects us to prospect them because that's what everybody does. Here, let me read you dramatic reading. I got this one, which you've all gotten the same exact one, and I won't tell you who it's from, but hey, Diane, your profile popped up in my newsfeed as someone I should know. So I thought I would reach out to you. I see you're also in network marketing. I would love to connect with you sometime. I have some Facebook marketing software I can give you. It's called Facebook Prospect Finder. Send me a friend request and message, and I will send you the details. Now, there's no way that this guy doesn't want to sell me something. Right? Because there's just no way. He is telegraphing it. And in fact, look at this. May 20th, he sent me this was just Sunday, yesterday, but May 20th, it's always fun to connect with other networkers. I'm not trying to recruit you or anything. Please don't try to recruit me. If you want, I can share some. So I got, in May, he messaged me with something almost the same. Okay, telegraphing from 10,000 miles away that he is, I'm not trying to recruit you, so please don't try to recruit me. But I really am trying to recruit you, even though I say I'm not. You can tell, right? You can tell because there's no normalcy to the languaging. There's no normalcy to the beginning of the relationship. Okay? So when I'm looking to sign up everybody, but I don't know who's ripe to be signed up today. That's why I can't go after them that way. I got to see who's ready. Because if I try to convince someone, I'm climbing uphill. I'm clawing my way uphill, right? And if somebody's ready to go, I'm riding my bike downhill. It's easy. You ever ride your bike up a hill and then ride your bike down a hill? It's like uphill is like downhill is coasting, no hands, mom, look, you know, because it's just easier. So when I'm meeting people, I'm looking to meet them and then get them to notice all this content I'm putting out on a daily basis. So I want them to notice, if I meet you today, the chances of you noticing me in your thread tomorrow, in your feed tomorrow, is very high. And if I put out something interesting or helpful, it doesn't have to be earth-shattering, just something helpful, people will look at it. And then the other thing is, even let's say they already know the answer to the thing I put out, they're still going to, in their mind, subconsciously, going to go, she's really helping people. She's really helping people. She's really helping people. So then what happens is I'm always inviting to my list. I'm always inviting in every video, every piece I do, everything. I'm always saying, be on my list, right? So they get on my list, and then they get invited to something, to a webinar or this and that, or they see that I put out an offer, and they bite. That's how I do it. It's really simple. But the thing that's cool is I'm never prospecting or bugging anybody that doesn't want to be bugged. I'm just letting people know I have this is what's going on, or I have this offer, or we have new blogs, or here's something new and cool. And those that are ready get it, or raise their hand and ask a question. So I'm just looking to massively meet everybody. If I went out to a bar and I was looking for a date, say I dumped Larry after 30 years, not dumping Larry, and I'm looking for a date, if I meet everybody in the bar, at the end of the night, the chances of me being able to have pick of my dates is very high. I'm just meeting everybody, being social. I'm not like going, hey, baby, you know, I'm just meeting people and having fun. If I'm like trolling around and everybody could tell I'm like this desperate old lady trying to, you know, get someone, you're not going to do so well. So that's the whole idea. I'm building a massive warm market. I'm meeting as many people in this space as I can. And I'm trying to be helpful to as many, no, not for free all day long, but I'm trying to get to know what are the fears, what are the challenges, what are people struggling with, how can I help them, what can I make this week that will help as many people as possible. My circle of influence in this space is massive. The number of people that I know, the number of people I've chatted with, the number of people I've given an idea to. So when I say, hey, I'm joining a new MLM, I'll have 100 to 200 people line up they want. It's because I've done the work every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I meet people is through other people. It's always through other people. I'm looking to see who's commenting on somebody I know's stuff, talking about somebody I know's stuff. And then I'm always looking for something we have in common outside of business, which is usually they have a cute dog, their kids are cute, their Thanksgiving pictures, their, you know, like somebody like you, if you have a picture outside this time of year, I'd be like, I'm coming to visit. When can I come? You know, stuff like that. The snow pictures the other day, Tula had snow pictures, Justin had snow pictures. It was snowing up there. So they were fun pictures. As long as the snow doesn't come to me, I'll comment on your snow pictures all day. You know, I'm just always looking around to see who's doing what.
Yeah.
Just meeting people and comment. I comment on what's important to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
I feel it's light. There's a lightness to how you're doing it, making it very complicated.
Yeah, and because you have an agenda. If you let go of the agenda, the outcome will be achieved, because what will happen is you'll meet people that you'll just hit it off with. You know, whenever you see somebody that's getting, you know, women, they get to the mid-20s, late 20s, and they start to worry about finding someone, you know, and they're starting to worry, you know, I'm 30, I'm 31, oh my God, what if I do that thing? And they start to get weird, and now they're starting to worry. As opposed to getting out and being social and meeting lots of people to see who they hit it off with, they start freaking out. And now they're like reading, you know, like Match.com, like just desperately like looking for someone. In this industry, we're all just looking for the right business date. And I'm just meeting people to see who connects. Mm-hmm. And there are people I connect with tremendously, and we've done lots of business together. There's other people that don't connect with me at all. We haven't done any business together. And then there's other people, we're not a business match, but we totally respect each other and support one another. Mm-hmm. You know, they're just different than me, or their philosophy or the way they approach is different than me. But that doesn't mean I don't respect them and honor them. It just means we're not a match. Right. And I'm really good with that. Right. And that's what I want you to start thinking about. I need to meet lots of people, and I'm not worried about who I'm not a match with. Most people lament that. They spend all day going, that guy didn't sign up. And they're not realizing there's like 20 people sitting around them that probably would if they just, you know, built that relationship. But they're busy worrying about the one guy that didn't, or the one guy that, you know, didn't like my, you know, I got a nasty letter the other day about some woman that said I'm greedy and I'm horrible and I'm this and I'm that. And I'm like, okay, she didn't catch what my letter meant. She didn't understand it. Mm-hmm. You know, I was just talking about, I was giving away the thing, the January class about winning affiliate contests. And she was very upset, telling me how all I ever talk about is money. That's all I care about. And I take advantage of people. And I'm like, okay, she's never bought anything for me. She doesn't even know me. She's never spoken to me. But I'm horrible. Not a match.
You know, I was watching Tula's yesterday.
You were watching what?
Tula's one-on-one session, which was really good.
Yeah, we have fun.
Can you elaborate? Because you had mentioned that, like, because Sites has released Blog, and then Empower already had, there's like a vibration that's higher now about putting out content on Blog, or Blog is kind of permeated throughout our industry, and how we can kind of capitalize on helping people understand blogging and essentially, you know, the need for it, and why, you know, people will probably be more looking now because there's so much.
Exactly, because people are talking about something. And by the way, that goes on in our culture. When smartphones were coming around, you know, they were expensive, and a lot of people hadn't switched. People still had flip phones and stuff. And then more and more people got them until everybody was talking about a smartphone, so that everybody wanted one, because it increases the vibration. And now most people have one. You know, very few people are still sticking with the old phones, unless they have to because of budget or whatever, or they're older and the new phones confuse them or something. But generally speaking, everybody's switched over. The bulk of the population, 80% of cell phone users in the United States probably have switched over. I'm guessing 70, right? Fair. So, but there was a time period where everybody was like, I remember I didn't want a touch screen. I had a BlackBerry and I thought I needed a keypad. I could never use one of these. They'll never work for me. Now, if you tried to take it from me, I'd fight you, you know? So when vibration raises, this happens all the time. Right now, unfortunately, due to the events in Paris and what's going on in Brussels right now, there's a lot of people are worried about terrorism. It's just a vibration. Now, a week and a half ago, the average person was kind of like, yeah, it might happen. ISIS is bad. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's like, we can't go to New York. We can't go here. We can't go in crowds. We have to stay in our house because it's hit critical mass. So blogging, because we have so many people talking about it, has hit critical mass in this space. And so talking about it, not in a salesy way, because a lot of people are trying to convince you need a blog, but more talking about why blogging can be beneficial to you. Here's how to work this if you don't have a blog, but I highly recommend you do have a blog. Now we have a new platform that makes it easier for you. In a professional way. You know, same thing happens with, you know, in the population that you work with different medications, Alzheimer's, for example. New medication comes out, a new trial finishes, a new medication's approved by the FDA. Well, doctors start talking. They read the journals, they go to events, and now the geriatric community is talking about the results they're seeing with a new medication. And all of a sudden it goes right through all the nursing homes that, you know, for everybody that's with Alzheimer's to try this new med. Whether it works or not, we don't know, but it hits critical mass. So talking about blogging without selling blogs is a very smart thing to be doing right now.
Okay.
You know, 5 cool plugins that'll, you know, help you with your blogging success. Things about what is this? What is a widget? What is it? You could do a whole series on just the definitions. You know, all those WordPress 101 videos that Jim has for you guys? Have you seen them? You could just go remake those darn videos. Serious. Because it's not like it's proprietary information. You know, like Jim and MLSP did not create the concept of WordPress. They did not create what a widget is.
Right.
You're not stealing anything by talking about, you know, residual income, this a terminology from the network marketing industry. People are afraid they're going to take someone's content. If you're taking something that's just a concept, you can't take it from anyone. Now, if you take somebody's specific training that they do, like you know what I'm talking about, the difference between, then people will figure out that you're full of crap and it wasn't yours in the first place. And I've seen people do that. I've seen people take Jim Rohn, full Jim Rohn talks, literally rip him completely off, go deliver, and everybody's oohing and eyeing, and then they think that nobody will know. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, really? Like word for word. Really? Wow. I've seen people take Randy Gage's talks. I've seen people take Tony Robbins. I mean, word for word. At least I deliver stuff all the time from people, but I tell them where I got it so that they don't find out. So, yeah, blogging right now is hot. So talking about blogging. One other tip for you, I think, is really good. You ever notice how I share my weaknesses? I share that I'm not really technical. I joke around about it. I let people see me struggle. And I think that it's good. I think that it makes people always write to me and thank me for showing them that I'm not natural at this and yet I'm doing it. It gives them a lot of hope.
Yeah.
So be comfortable with letting people see. Like you could do a video with, hey, you know, I need to learn about this. I thought we'd learn about it together.
Yeah.
You know, that makes people go, wow. You know, hey, I did a whole like capture page training one time. I was screwing up so bad. It was ridiculous. I was mortified. Everything I did was wrong. I was mortified. We got it done. I got more love letters that day than I don't know what. And it wasn't that they were saying you did a good job, Di, but it was like, thank you for letting us see the reality.
Right.
We all struggle. You're not the only one that has 2 little kids. You know that, right?
Right.
You know, you're not the only one that's going to have them homesick from school, or one of them's throwing up, or they both have a fever, or whatever. You're not the only one that's going to have a bad day at work and exhausted and you don't want to make a piece of content. It's just everywhere. It's just that nobody ever talks about it because everybody makes believe it's all magic and rainbows and unicorns.
You know, like I remember back in the day, you used to do predictions about the industry.
Yeah.
Where do you see the industry going? You know, given I feel like we're kind of on a cycle since now blogging is back and big, and content marketing.
It was huge, like 2008, 2009. It was a big deal.
Right.
You know what's going to happen now? I think mainstream MLM is being hit very hard after the FTC and BEMA. I think there's going to be some other episodes like that. And I think that mainstream people are going to come around to understanding that they need to have more control. We've been preaching this for years, but there's more leaders that have been impacted in the last year or so. We're finally seeing major MLM leaders endorsing like social media marketing, where before they were very against it. You're going to find them. We always wanted to keep people, focused on the MLM. So getting them off on too many tangents, of course, a leader didn't want to do that. But on the flip side, I think after they've been hit enough times, they start to feel a responsibility to help people have some type of entity of their own. Mm-hmm. What we're going to find is that the leaders become more influential than the companies, which is scaring the companies, truthfully. And it's happened already, but it's happening more now. The leader and their ability to move people with them versus the company being able to preserve people, it's just changing.
Yeah.
So the biggest mistake that attraction marketing entities have made over the years is some of them still do, I see it every day, is they bash the traditional. And that's a mistake, because guess what? We'll go back to cell phones. If I bash you because you have a flip phone and I'm AT&T or Verizon or whatever, and I bash you, well, guess who the person with the flip phone is? It's your eventual customer for a smartphone.
Mm-hmm.
You just let the marketplace bring them around.
Right.
You don't have to make them feel stupid or embarrassed because of the way they're doing something. You just have to lay it out so that at some point they go, I want this. So as an attraction marketer, I want to continue to train and educate and not bash the traditional, because traditional is the original foundation. What we want to do is combine instead of making people feel dumb or etc. So you're going to see, and it goes both ways, because the traditional networkers were trying to like call out, the attraction marketers as being evil and terrible. And, Mike Dillard was the Antichrist for years. He's like, don't listen to him. He's evil. So you have no idea the conversations I've heard. So it's all coming together. It's coming back full circle. And the media has changed it. And let's face it, we go where the eyeballs go.
Mm-hmm.
And if the eyeballs are on social media, to pretend that we're going to still talk to people in the supermarket is a little goofy. But on the flip side, to pretend that we're going to go on and build social media mechanisms and funnels and blogs and stuff, and never having learned how to talk to a prospect or present to them, that's kind of goofy too. Mm-hmm. I see people every day that have incredible infrastructures and they're very talented technically, but they wouldn't know what to do with a prospect if one landed, literally sat on their lap and said, sign me up. They wouldn't know how to sign them up. So.
Excellent.
Nobody's ever asked me that question. You're very smart. Nobody says, what's the prediction? And it's the end of the year. I used to make lots of predictions.
I used to love them.
Well, you know what it is? I don't know. I guess I've gotten older and mellower, so I'm not as edgy as I used to be, although lately it's come out a little bit more. People get upset when you're edgy. I like to be edgy.
Yeah, but I mean, all of them came true. Like you saw your predictions, your shift.
They have.
I would always look for them, like, oh, what's gonna happen?
They have. The opportunity is very bright for people that are familiar with all this stuff, because the rest of the profession is going to come around over the next 5 years. Everybody's going to want and need, and that's why MLSPs changed you're going to see their new presentations that come out. It's all about the CRM, the funnelizer, and sites. And that when you put those three together, any business owner will benefit from those three. It's not just about 50 leads a day and all that other hypey stuff. And they'll never let go of that because it sells. It works. But the reality is, if a home business owner does not have a way to get leads, track their leads, and to provide value to their leads, they're not going to do well in the next 10, 15 years. And it's really that simple. Now, getting leads and keeping track of those leads has always been a part of being a networker or being a marketer, but now we have really optimal ways to you know, whatchamacallit, automate it all. And the CRM is a very valuable tool that people aren't selling. You're going to see me selling that a lot. Because most people always say to me, I'm just real good at remembering people. Why? I don't know. I just am. Once I meet, you know what I mean? Like once I get to know that you have a boy and a girl and what you do for, how could I forget?
Right.
So when I'm always busy meeting people and getting to know them. So how do you forget, you know, who they are? If I haven't really met them, it's different. But most people struggle with that. And the CRM is the answer, because then you can take notes and you can remind yourself when to check in with them, or you can remember that they told you their daughter's ballet recital was on Saturday. So next week you could say, now I would remember because I'm me, but a lot of people can't. So now you can say on Tuesday, how was your daughter's recital? Did you take any pictures? They're just blown away that you care. And you don't do it to get a sale. You do it because you care about someone.
I heard a talk from Brene Brown, who says, when you remember those little pieces of information, oh, you remember my parent's name, or you remember my child's recital, that's how you build trust with individuals, and they trust you more because, you know, and it means a lot more to them because you just remember something would have been insignificant to the next person, which is significant to them.
And it's been lost in this generation because we used to go to small stores where all the owners knew. I'm writing my book next week, just so y'all know. I'm writing my book. I'm going away. I'm writing my book because this is what my book is about. We used to go, when I was a kid in the 70s, because I'm very old again, you used to go to all these stores and you'd go there all the time. So the owners of the children's clothing store knew who we were, knew what sizes we need, were excited when we grew to the next size. They remembered that we had our communion or this or that. They have little candies in the store, and we knew if we went in there, we'd get a treat. Every store we went in knew us. Now I grew up in the city. And it's lost because it's all a big box. And when you go to Walmart, and there's nothing wrong with Walmart because we get good deals and all that stuff, but when you go to Walmart, there's never the same employee there twice.
Right.
You know, when you go to the supermarket, when you go to this and that. So there's very few places that you feel special anymore. And that's our window. That's our opportunity as small business owners, because we can give that back, and people are craving it. Because now, I mean, literally Amazon, we're going over, but that's okay because I'm ranting. Amazon is opening up warehouses in cities across the country. People will literally have same day delivery. They love that, right? If I'm in Manhattan, I can order something by 10 o'clock in the morning and I can have it by 3 o'clock. That's convenience. That's buying my time back. That's giving me what I want. So I love that. But I need to meet someone that actually knows who I am somewhere else. Because we'll always crave that because we're humans. So we'll crave convenience and saving time and all that stuff. That's our nature. But our other nature is connection. And anybody who understands that over the next 10 years is going to get rich. And that's what people,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, and that's what people don't want to do in this industry. They want to make money and they want to make residual and everything, but they don't want to connect with anyone. And this is one of the, the worlds that the connection is still important. And when I used to go in those little stores, when I was a kid with my mom, they didn't expect us to buy something every time we went in. They were happy we stopped in because every time we stopped in, they had a chance at selling us something. But if we didn't buy that day and we just looked around and then we said, okay, well, we'll see you in a couple weeks. We'll be shopping for Christmas outfits. And they'd let us know what day the new dresses were coming in. They didn't mind that we didn't buy.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't understand. I don't mind when I meet someone and I build a relationship and they don't buy today. Because what I do know is that they will.
So you're not one of these, get off my list if you haven't bought anything from me.
Well,
What are these people?
I mean, I'm with people. There has to be an exchange of value. So if somebody's never been a customer and they want a lot of my time, that's the person who I'll say, hey, great, I do one-on-one consulting. This is how much it costs. And of course they go, you know, I mean, people show up that want to be abusive, you know. You ever see the people that go to Costco every single Saturday because they can eat samples for free, never buy anything, you know? They don't even have the card because they can't check out because they don't have a card. They just go in and they eat. Well, that's abusive, you know? So looking for the happy medium. Have I told certain people over the course of my years that, you know, the free hour is over? Yeah, but that's only after they abuse me.
Right.
You know, most people I'll talk to, and people always freak out when I pick up the phone or I talk to them at the first time, or I, you know, send them something helpful. They're always like, why do you do that? I'm like, I don't know, because I can. Anyway, so my dear, I'm going to run off and go home. I hope I've helped you a little bit. I just want you to loosen up. I want you to have fun. Yes. I want you to I want to see you out there. I want to see you tag me with stuff. Make some stuff and tag me. I'm never going to get mad at you. I mean, don't tag me on your promotions for MLSP because we're both in it, but tag me on a video or something, or just, you know, whatever. Have some fun and just get out there and meet people. You're a beautiful young mom, working hard, bringing up a family. You know, connect with everybody else that's like that. And here's what's cool. When you're at your stage of life, you end up connecting with people like me because we miss being at your stage of life. Even though it's hard, you know, you lament it later. You also connect with the people that are a little bit younger, that are, you know, thinking about having kids and stuff like that. It's hard to connect with the really young ones because they're too off doing whatever. But you'll find that, you know, when you talk about your life, and not in a weird, too personal way, just fun stuff. What's going on with the kids? If you don't want to put the kids' pictures up, you don't have to. People worry about that. I don't blame you, but it's just like, what's going on? We're going to a party, or there's a Thanksgiving thing, or you know how they make in preschool, they make those cute little pilgrim hats or whatever, you know, first grade, stuff like that. You don't have to take a picture of your daughter if that's not comfortable, but take a picture of the hat or the little hand turkey she made or whatever, you know, all that stuff that they do. People love that. Yep. And that's just simple stuff. Put it on Instagram and have it post automatically over to Facebook. And now you have a lot of fun stuff going on, and people are just reaching out and saying, hey, whatever. Make sure everybody knows you're in Tampa, so you meet all the other people in Southwest Florida. There's tons of marketers down there. I mean, most of the crew I know is a little south of you, but I know people in Tampa too. Howie's there. Mark Harbert lives near there. There's just tons of people in your neck of the woods. It's nice there. I like it there.
You have a working title for your book?
Nope. I have like 6 of them. So I don't know which one I'm not giving it out.
Which one?
Get lost.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Hochman. I appreciate it.
Somebody will see this and go register it on GoDaddy or something. The name,
you're right.
You get the domain, so I'm trying to decide what I want to do. I either change the name, or I'm going to have to do a .something other than .com. I don't know. And then I'm still deciding. I have to get this off my chest and publish it, but I don't know whether am I going to do it just as a Kindle book, or am I going to try to do like a big book launch, or, you know, I don't know. Will there be a product behind it or a seminar? I don't know yet. We'll see.
Did you want to self-publish?
Yeah. I doubt I'm going to be able to get it to a regular publisher. I mean, I can try, but there's several companies right here in the industry that publish, you know, inside the industry. So I've already talked to all 3 of them.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's a lot of things you learn when you grow up. So hurry up, grow up. So I can teach you.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I'm glad we got to connect. And by the way, for those of you guys that are watching, this is our second to last one-on-one. It's been quite a couple of months. It's been amazing. We have one more tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern. And then we are done with these. But we're going to put them on a membership site for you guys to have access to instead of just the Facebook group. Facebook group remains open all through December. So if you have questions or things you want to show me all through December, make sure you follow up with me. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. I'll see you later, Tata. Everybody have a good day.
Bye.